Mic Hustlin.
What's good, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Mic Hustlin Podcast. Here to explore the deeper side of the culture, the stories behind the music, and the human experiences that shape hip-hop as we know it. Today, we're tackling a heavy subject, one that many of us avoid but desperately need to discuss. It's about the mental, emotional, and psychological toll that stardom can take on even the strongest individuals. And we're going to look at this through the lens of one of the most iconic figures in hip-hop, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is a powerhouse, a legend, and a trailblazer. But even legends are human, and sometimes their humanity reveals itself in ways that are hard to ignore. Over the past few years, Nicki's name has been tied to controversy after controversy. From public feuds with other artists to her recent legal troubles, it seems like the weight of her success is beginning to take its toll. And here's the thing. This isn't just about Nicki Minaj. It's about the pressures that come with being at the top, the unresolved trauma that often goes unnoticed, and the dangerous cycle of pain and power that so many artists in hip-hop find themselves trapped in. In today's episode, we're breaking it all down. We'll talk about Nicki's recent legal troubles, her personal struggles, and the deeper psychological patterns that might be driving her behavior. We'll also explore what it means to heal, both as an artist and as a human being, and how anyone listening, whether you're in the industry or just navigating your own battles, can take steps to reclaim your peace. Let's start with what's happening right now. TMZ recently reported a story that could have serious implications for Nicki Minaj's career and freedom. According to the report, Nicki is facing potential criminal charges stemming from an alleged assault on her former manager, Brandon Garrett. Here's what went down. Back in April 2024, after a performance in Detroit, Garrett says he was called to Nicki's dressing room. Now, if you know anything about the backstage world, you know emotions can run high. But according to Garrett, this was more than just a heated conversation. He claims that when Nicki found out he had sent someone else to pick up one of her prescriptions, she lost it. Garrett says she told him, "Your life is over," before slapping him across the face. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he says she struck his wrist, causing documents he was holding to fall to the ground. Garrett has since filed a lawsuit against Nicki for assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. But this isn't just a civil matter. The Detroit Police Department has sent a warrant request to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and they're deciding whether to press criminal charges. If charges are filed, this could have a massive impact on Nicki's career and reputation. But let's take a step back and ask, what's really going on here? Why would someone like Nicki, someone at the pinnacle of success, allegedly lash out like this? To understand the Nicki Minaj we see today, we need to go back. Nicki's childhood was far from picture perfect. She grew up in an environment marked by chaos and instability. Her father, Robert Mirage, battled substance abuse and was reportedly abusive toward her mother. Imagine being a young girl, watching your family fall apart, feeling like the people who were supposed to protect you couldn't even protect themselves. That kind of trauma doesn't just disappear. It shapes you. It teaches you to build walls to protect yourself at all costs. And for someone like Nicki, who rose to fame in a male-dominated industry, those walls might have been the very thing that helped her survive. But survival comes at a cost. Let's talk about loyalty for a minute. Nicki has always emphasized the importance of loyalty, but what if that's because she's been betrayed so many times? Her clashes with other artists, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice, they might not just be about competition. They could be about a deeper fear of betrayal, a need to control the narrative, and a defense mechanism against being hurt again. And then there's the personal pain. Nicki's brother's arrest for child sexual assault was a public and deeply personal blow. Her father's tragic death in 2021 was another layer of grief. These aren't just headlines. They're real, painful events that would shake anyone to their core. Now, add to all of that the relentless pressure of fame. Imagine being in the public eye, every move scrutinized, every mistake magnified. For someone already carrying a heavy emotional burden, that kind of pressure can be suffocating. And here's where things get even more complicated. Rumors have swirled about Nicki's possible struggles with substance abuse, specifically pills. While nothing has been confirmed, it's not hard to see how someone in her position might turn to substances as a way to cope. Addiction often starts as an escape, a way to numb the pain, to silence the noise in your head. But it doesn't solve the problem. In fact, it makes things worse. It amplifies the anger, the impulsiveness, the sense of isolation. And when you're in a position of power like Nicki, those amplified emotions can lead to situations like the one with Brandon Garrett. So what do we do with all of this? How does Nicki move forward? How do we as fans and as a culture support someone who's clearly struggling? First and foremost, accountability is key. If Brandon Garrett's allegations are true, Nicki needs to take responsibility for her actions. But accountability doesn't mean condemnation. It means recognizing the problem and taking steps to address it. For Nicki, that might mean therapy, digging into the unresolved traumas from her past and learning healthier ways to cope with anger and stress. It might mean stepping away from the spotlight for a while to focus on her mental health. And if substance abuse is part of the equation, it might mean seeking professional help to address that as well. For anyone listening, the same applies to you. Whether you're dealing with anger, addiction, or the weight of your own struggles, there's help out there. Therapy, support groups, hotlines, these resources are available and they can make a difference. Here are a few to keep in mind. Substance abuse help. 1-800-662-HELP, SAMHSA National Helpline. Mental health support. Local therapists or online platforms like BetterHelp. Anger management. Counseling services or community programs designed to help you process emotions in healthier ways. You don't have to go through it alone. Healing is possible, and it starts with that first step. Nicki Minaj is at a crossroads. This could be a moment of transformation for her, a chance to confront her demons, rebuild her relationships, and redefine what it means to be the queen of rap. But she can't do it alone. She needs support, not just from her team, but from all of us as fans. And as we think about Nicki, let's also think about ourselves. What battles are we fighting in silence? What pain are we carrying that needs to be addressed? Let's use this moment to reflect, to show compassion, and to seek healing. For Nicki, for ourselves, and for the culture. Thank you for tuning in to the Mic Hustlin Podcast. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep hustling.